All right, this is for the YouTube peeps. Here we go. All right, so let's start getting to it. If you go on Google Classroom, you'll see the assignment, which also has various ways to look at the DBQ. Just put it on your main screen so you can see it, what I'm talking about. Okay. Couple things. We're just gonna do the like background questions and the hook activity, and read like the essay like we would in class. There's really 3 ways you can answer questions. We're gonna like go into breakout rooms and work with like a partner or 2 to like kind of answer the questions and whatnot. If you have printed this off, sweet, just attach pictures after we finish this today. If you're gonna try and type on it, is there an option called PDF, like Lumen PDF for you? Whenever you go to open it, look for that. If you see Lumen PDF, I have a video down here that shows all that too. Hey, good morning. And on the top up here, I show how like that's very blurry, but at the very top it says Lumen PDF is one of your options. I hope so. If you have it and you open it, that video kind of explains how you do it. It's pretty easy actually. Or the last option, if you don't have the Lumen PDF, you could always just make a copy of this doc I attached at the bottom. And if you make your own copy,
I'm gonna take my dog out really quick.
Oh my gosh. Hurry. Have your DBQ ready and open. Jeez. Oh my god, mute him. Okay. So if you can't get Lumen PDF to work and you just want to make a copy of this doc, you can't type on this right now. Just make a copy
I
of it.
just printed everything out.
Perfect. Yeah. If you can print it and you want to, that's probably the easiest way to do it. But if you want to type it, if you can't print it, that's fine too. So either of those works. I think the one that may be easy to do on the computer, if you have Lumen PDF as an option, that one's pretty cool because it lets you actually type right onto the DBQ itself. But any 3 of those, whatever works easiest, whichever one you can figure out, just go with that. That way you're not like frustrated trying to get something to work.
Mr. Linek, when we read like the long paragraph, are we gonna need a highlighter to highlight stuff?
Yeah, if you got it printed out, I would highlight it that way. If you're looking at the PDF on the Lumen PDF editor, you should be able to highlight on there too. Ooh.
Okay.
Does the Lumen PDF actually work for y'all? Oh no, it just blurs it out. Ooh, rip.
I printed mine out, so I don't have to do the PDF thing.
Sweet.
Wait, so if we're on the PDF, how do we do the Lumen thing? That's confusing.
Do the Lumen thing, huh?
Like, if you open it, it just says PDF and it doesn't doesn't say anything about Lumen.
On the little top doodad.
The little circle thing?
So are you looking at my screen?
1 second. Yes.
All right, when you're at the top up here, what do you have? Just Google Docs or PDF Viewer?
Or it doesn't have that top thing.
Oh. Maybe mouse up there. Does it appear?
3 dots in top right, hit open a new window, then it should pop up there.
Oh, fancy. Okay. Oh my gosh, how cool. Okay, got it.
Thank you, Mason. All right, so now Lumen PDF. I think you should be able to open it that way. Oh wow. Colors. Oh, undo. There should be a way to highlight. I would imagine. Possibly not. We might have to get a little more creative for that one then. Ah. Does that make it?
Mr. Winack.
Yeah.
Well, every time we have like PDF stuff, I always use like the Doc Hub, and it has a highlight option.
Ooh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, Doc Hub works really good too. So if you're more familiar with Doc Hub, please use that. I'm okay with that. All right, I figured it out. If you're using Lumen PDF and you're still looking at my screen, next to the free text where you would answer a question, that stuff, there's the pen, the freehand tools. If you change the opacity from being max, that would like block it out. See? If you change it to less than 100%, so if you go to like 50 or something, you should be able to highlight and still see. If you do a different color, it'll probably be a little bit easier to actually see your highlight. So yeah. Cool. And there it is. Yeah, cool.
You may have already said this, but are we allowed to print it out and highlight it like that?
Yeah, if it's easier for you just to print it, and you can, go for that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Sweet. Is everyone ready? We're missing some people, but I guess they'll just have to watch the YouTubes later. Rip. Alright, so here's basically what we're going to do. I made some breakout rooms, and I've already put you in groups. I just haven't opened them yet, so you don't see it yet. But we're going to kind of do this like we would normally. I'll start just kind of by explaining our main topic. Then I'll have you break out and work with a partner or two, and just for like 5 minutes. I'll put a timer up on my screen, I guess. Then you can answer these 5 questions. They're pretty easy, just based off this map. Don't forget to like use the notes and stuff on any of the documents we look at. And then we'll kind of come back together. We'll maybe share out our answers. Then we'll do the background essay together. And then, like I always say, there's some good stuff in here to highlight. And then from there, we'll end by kind of going back with our group to answer questions over our background essay. And that will probably be what we do today. Questions? Cool. Okay. So, our last DBQ of the year will be how free were free blacks in the North. So, our overview says, between the arrival of the first black Americans in Jamestown in 1619 and the end of the Civil War, the dark cloud of slavery cast its shadow over much of the nation's history. What is often forgotten is that not all black Americans during this period were actually slaves. This mini-Q is going to take a look at those years between 1800 and 1860, and it's going to ask the question of how free were free blacks in the northern states. So really, through this DBQ, we're going to squash 2 misconceptions. One, not all black people were slaves. That's one. There were actually a decent amount that were free and had been free for like a long time. And 2, that northern states were super great. You're going to kind of learn through this how biased and unfair and racist the North even was too. They weren't enslaving people, but they still weren't treating them equal, which is a sad history to show. The specific areas we're going to kind of look at to see that with our documents eventually, probably maybe tomorrow-ish. We're going to see like political and judicial rights, social freedoms, education and jobs from a black student, and the black church and its role in helping African Americans. So, yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to give you about the next 5. I'm going to put you or allow you to go to your group, if you will. And then go ahead and answer the 5 questions. All of them are on this page with this map or these notes. So just keep all that in mind. And y'all, anyone got a question before I break you out? Okay. One quick thing about the breakout room. It's gonna literally, I think first it's gonna send you like an invite, like, hey, you've been invited to this room. Say yeah. You'll get there, and it'll be like this main screen. You'll only see people in your room though. And on that bottom somewhere, like, you know how there's the option panel for you, it says like ask question. If you click on that, it will send me an alert no matter where I am, and I can join your room and help you out through something. Okie dokie. All right, let me shuffle some people.
I don't even know who it is.
Okay, Mr. Lilac, I have a question.
Yes. Oh, I unplugged my. That's right. Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
What does abolition mean?
Abolition is a person who, or a movement to get rid of slavery, to end slavery.
Oh, okay. Curious about the first question. Like, what does that mean? Okay, that's all I needed
Yeah.
to know. Thank
Okay,
you.
welcome. Hola.
Hola.
Hey, come back to the main room at 12. I'm gonna close the room anyways, so just, if you're finished, you can just start heading back. But if you're finishing, cool.
Okay.
Wait, we do that map? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, just the map.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you back in a couple minutes.
Yeah. There we go.
Hola. If you're done, you can head back to the main lobby. If not, try and finish up in the next minute. I'm gonna close rooms so we can go over. Cool. Cool, Leo. I'll see you in a couple. Hola.
Hello.
If you're done, you can head back to the main lobby. If not, try and finish in like the next minute. We're gonna go over it in that main lobby though. Okay.
Okay.
See you in like 2 minutes or something.
Missouri. I don't know how to spell Missouri. Missouri, Kentucky.
Wait, it says that there was 5 states.
That's 6.
Missouri.
Just do Maryland.
Are you on number 4?
Yeah. There's 6. We're confused.
I'm so confused.
Don't be corn-fused.
There's
Well, I'm
6
gonna wait for
states.
that because this morning I thought I didn't have my family life book, but apparently everybody doesn't have it. So
Oh.
I'm kind of off the rails here.
Yeah, I think that's still at school. I don't think you ever got
It
that.
is. She collected everyone's. There's 6 states. So
Wait, so okay, we need one. So we have the ones that we know are definitely it are like Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, and West Virginia. There's one more.
no, we have all of them. It's Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, Delaware, and Maryland.
Virginia's not one.
Yeah, they
And
are.
West-
West Virginia. I think it's just
West
Maryland.
Virginia.
Maybe we get rid of Missouri.
No, why would we get rid of a Missouri? It's still a border state.
True. Okay, just don't.
I just don't do Delaware because I feel like that's not one. Just do Maryland.
I'll be back. Hello.
Hi.
Question or did you finish?
little question.
Okay.
I don't know what the first two questions mean.
Oh,
Like they're confusing.
Abolition of slavery is like the ending of slavery. So these dates represent when slavery ended in the States. So really, you're comparing basically the North is like above this line here. Let me show my screen real quick. Where am I? Here I am. I drew a little thingy on it. So above that line is basically known as the North, and then this is the South, if that helps.
So kind of what we said was, because we read the note on the side, and so more of the states in the North have 2 dates. So like the slaves were freed. So we thought that the North like ended slavery first.
Yeah, so you could basically argue a lot of the dates are earlier, like 1784, 1780, 1783. So you could argue the North started ending slavery earlier, yeah. And if you look at the South, most of them aren't going to end it until the late 1800s. And if you happen to know, that's when the Civil War basically ends. They're going to end slavery after it. Mark science. Okay. I'm gonna end our breakout rooms here in a couple more minutes. Just finish up. If you're already done, if those are the last 2 you had to finish, you can just head back to the lobby.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Welcome.
Yeah.
ELHC, just so quiet.
Oh, there he is.
Hello.
So
Hey. Do you have a
What do we
question?
do when we're done?
If you want to head back to the main lobby, we're gonna kind of go over this in a second.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hello.
Hello.
If you're done or almost done, you can just head back to the main lobby. We'll go over these questions real quick.
Okay.
Sweet.
It's super duper small in the corner. Hello.
Hey, we're gonna go over this. If you want to head back to the main lobby now.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay.
Hello?
Hola.
Yeah, get into it.
Totally. Okay. Let's go over our questions.
You're muted.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's go over our questions. Let me find my thingy-mabobber real quick. Okay. Backtracking. Okay. All right. First one being about. Let me open this thing too. Make it easy for me. First one says generalizations about abolition of slavery in the North. If you didn't see, I tried to type a little note about stuff. Trying to give you a heads up. It's like abolition basically means the ending of slavery in this case is basically what they mean. So all these dates on our map represent when each state ended slavery. Our note here on the left kind of says the first date ends like when they started to pass laws, and the second date is when it officially ended or the last slave died. So here like in New Jersey, 1804 is when they started to pass laws saying it was illegal to own slaves basically or get new slaves, and by 1846 either the last slave died or that was when the last one became free. So, in the North, what's a generalization we could say about our North? Who wants to take a crack at it? Abby, yeah.
The slavery ended in the North, like usually before the South even like started.
Okay, so yeah, in the North, we saw more slavery ending early, 1787. Some of these states here, if you don't remember, this is all the Northwest territory. So when that was created, they said slavery should end. Like, it shouldn't even exist. So that's why here, as soon as this territory, these states are all created, they were created with no slaves. So that's nice. What about in the South? What's something you could say as a generalization? Random person. How about Mason?
I was actually just about to raise my hand, so that's funny.
Sweet.
But the South was for slavery and didn't want to give it up. And spoiler alert, they went to war about it.
Yeah. Yep. Nice spoilers. So, yeah, the South's going to adamantly fight for slavery, especially. That's what this whole war will get to eventually, right? Why do you think some northern states have 2 dates? I kind of said that already, didn't I? Natalie.
It's because because the last slave was freed on that date or died.
Yeah, so the first one's when they start passing laws, and the second one's when... Yeah, exactly. Nice. 4... Thanks. 5 states, all allowing slavery, fought with the North in the Civil War. The slaves in these states were not freed until 1865. What were these 5 states who fought with the North?
I have the answer for that one.
All right, Livia.
The 5 states were Missouri, Louisiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and West Virginia.
West Virginia. That is correct. So, is Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware.
Oh.
If you said Tennessee, that's a really good guess. Tennessee fought with the South, though.
Oh, yeah. So what were the other ones? You said...
So I'll show you on the map. Oh no, lost connection. Let me show you. Rip. Hold. Now it's loading. Okay. Oh geez, it broke. It broke. Okay. So Missouri, basically. Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia is kind of the line. Virginia was in the South, but Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, and then way over here, Delaware and Maryland were all part of the North. So yeah, I saw some people said Tennessee. Good guess, but that was part of the South. So that's the only reason though. Okay, and our last one. Does this map provide any evidence that there may have been racial prejudice in the North? What is somebody thinking? What about this map may support that maybe the North had some prejudice still, even though they didn't have slavery? How about someone? Let's go with Sid.
Hi, it's Katie, and I like to poop my pants.
Thanks, Liz.
We said yes because some of them ended slavery a lot later than others.
Yeah, okay. So some of them, they didn't all end it at the same time, right? Okay. What's another thought? What's someone else thinking? Gloria?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I didn't get to that question.
Oh, okay. Aiden, what'd you guys say?
We said yes because many of the acts were passed well before all the slaves were freed.
Okay,
Some
yeah, so you could...
had like 50 years between.
Nice. So yeah, you can see some states ended it like super early in the 1700s, whereas other states it's not until the 1800s or later. So yeah, good point. Good point. All right, let's move on to our background essay. Let me see if I can open it here again. Kind of broke. Yes. Okay.
Mr. Minor,
Yeah.
how much more of this are we gonna do? Because my Chromebook's about to
Bruh.
die.
Bruh. Get your
Yeah.
charger. Get your charger.
What?
All right, we're going to do the background essay, and then tomorrow we'll kind of go over questions, and then we'll probably start our first couple docs. How about that? Sounds good. Okay. So, all right. One quick thing to look at here before we get started, here's a quick timeline so you kind of have an idea of what we're looking at, what we're talking about. So in 1777, remember 1776 is when like revolution was going on and all that fun stuff. So Vermont becomes the first state to actually outlaw slavery. It said it was illegal. By 1787, that's our Constitution's made, as we've been talking about, right? But there's not a mention of any word about slavery, because that would upset the South and they wouldn't agree to sign the Constitution. Yeah, that's truth right there. So instead, they say other people in the Constitution. By 1822, they think that's about when Harriet Tubman was born. If you ever read the book or heard stories about her, she helped with the Underground Railroad. 1827, the first African-American newspaper is published in New York City. By 1835, Oberlin College admits its first black students. And in 1853, Frederick Douglass warns of learn trades or starve. He was talking to other African Americans. He was one of the first like really educated, college educated African Americans who was a very big civil rights leader. He was kind of like the Martin Luther King of his era. It was kind of a way you can compare him. And he basically was telling those who are free blacks or those who maybe escape slavery, you need to learn to be educated in a trade. So like building a chair, for example, that would be like a trade. There's tons. And then by 1865, we see a constitutional amendment added after the Civil War, which declared slavery unconstitutional. After we finish this DBQ, I think the last couple days of school, I'm going to show you a good summary of the Civil War and pre-Civil War through video. And they do a really good job of showing how like silly senators were in Congress with this whole problem. So it's you're going to watch it and just be like, this really happened? It's like, yes it did. Almost like this. So, yeah. All right, so getting to our background. Again, if you're on the digital version and you're looking at it through Lumen or the Doc Hub, grab your like highlighter option now. Just make sure it works and all that. If you're on Lumen, just change your opacity to not be 100 because you can't see. So if you made it like 60%, you should be able to see. If you're doing it on paper, sweet, you just highlight. All right, what to highlight? Keep in mind stuff for like an introduction. So remember, your introduction is also introducing our topic to your reader. For you right now, this is probably also an introduction for you. So what stuff that could help you explain it to your reader? Mrs. Shear, this is going to be going on for like language arts too. So she may not know much about this topic either. So you got to introduce her to it. So keep that in mind. All right. So how free were free blacks in the North? In 1850, the Civil War storm clouds building, Americans did what they do every 10 years. We just did it this spring. They counted themselves. The census is just that. Revealed that the national population of 31 million, the nation had a population of 31 million, whatever. Most of this population was white, but about 14%, or 4.5 million, were African American. Not all of this black population was slave. In 1860, 476,000 blacks were free. 250,000 of these lived in the South, and another 221,000 lived in the North. The remaining 4,000 free African Americans lived in the West, so like out here. The free black population in the South was mostly ex-slaves or their children who had been freed by their masters. Free Southern blacks lived in restricted life, but could work for wages, own property, and legally marry. What they mean here by living a restricted life is they basically don't have the same rights as white Americans, even though they're free. However, free Southern blacks could not vote and were not welcome to mix equally with Southern white population. The Northern black population was spread unevenly across 3 regions: the New England, Mid-Atlantic states, and the Midwest. So like up here, if you want to circle this and label it, that's your New England. This is your Mid-Atlantic states, and then this is your Midwest. Oh geez. So if you want to kind of label them, this is New England. That's a horrible E. This is your mid-Atlantic. And then this is your Midwest. Nice. The northern black population, blah, 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 just read that. Spread out across New England, mid-Atlantic states, and the Midwest. The northern states with the largest black populations were New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. That is right here. Slavery had been part of the North's colonial history, but during the American Revolution, the institution was seriously questioned. With all the talk about freedom and equality, many white Northerners became uncomfortable with slavery. Added to this, the economics of slavery did not make sense in the North. The North was becoming industrialized and embraced the idea of capitalism, or Alexander Hamilton's principles. Paying workers seemed like a smarter business practice than using slave labor. Paid workers worked harder and did not have to be cared for. Also, the largest slave-based cash crop in the South was cotton. Cotton did not grow in the North. It was shortly after winning the Revolutionary War that northern states, one by one, began to outlaw slavery. A few states ended slavery immediately and completely. Others passed gradual emancipation, or freedom, laws. For these states, it took several decades for northern slavery to come to a complete end. For example, the state of Rhode Island, I wrote all over that so I can't read it, passed law to end slavery in 1787. But it did not officially end until 1842, when the last slave in the state died. In the Midwest, the Northwest Ordinance prohibited slavery in 1787. This made certain that the future states of Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio would be admitted to the Union as free states. By early 1800s, most northern blacks were legally free, and by the time of the Civil War, the North had largely forgotten its slave past. However, even without the institution of slavery, the life of a black person in the North was not easy. Discrimination and prejudice were a problem. Your task is to examine these 4 documents that we'll start looking at tomorrow and that follow and answer the question of how free were free blacks in the North, actually. So, okay. Tomorrow, we're going to answer these here questions on the next page. And then we'll kind of do a little pre-bucket and then we'll start at least our first doc. This one's only got 4 documents. It's short and sweet. So I think this one's a chart. These 2, I believe, were quotes. And then this one's like a picture. So it's actually short and sweet. Okay.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Where are the questions that we're going to be answering for tomorrow?
They should be the very next page.
So those?
Yep. And we're going to work on them together tomorrow.